Check, check, check. Woo! We are getting funky. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the first of these exclusive membership videos. I thought we'd kick things off with a very, very requested topic of just how I record stuff. And I thought I would just kind of like set the camera down and just take you guys through the whole process. I'm not gonna like record a full song or anything like that in front of you, but I'll show you exactly what it is that I do when I'm recording, and there's a couple of different ways that I record things. So to start off with, let's just talk about the signal path. You know, a lot of people ask, well, how do you even get it on your, how do you get it to your computer? And I will show you that right now. So here are the two main ways that I record things. So I either run out of my amp or my Axe effects or like a preamp or something like that. Now, if I'm running out of an amp, I plug into the amp. Now from the amp, I run out of the speaker cabinet, line out, and that goes into this guy right here, which is a 2 notes, let me turn it on, 2 notes Torpedo Live. And what this is, you see it on my desk all the time, is it's basically simulating an amp cabinet and speaker. So this is how I can use amps without needing a microphone. I get asked this a lot. And it's all because of this thing, and it sounds fantastic. And they actually have an update now that you can use 2 mics, which is what I've been really, really looking for, because I like to use a ribbon and like a 57 and blend those together. So you can actually do that now on the live. And I haven't installed it yet, but I can't wait because I think it's going to make a big difference. Now, from the 2 notes right here, let me turn this so you can see it a little bit better. From the 2 notes, I run out of the back of it, and that's actually this cable you see here. I could run into the back of my interface, but I like just having input 1 because I have more controls. 2 notes is running into this right here, which is my interface, which I use a Scarlett 18i20, and it's completely overkill for what I need, but it was just, it was rack mount, and that was what I was really wanting, was a rack mounted interface. And from there, this goes USB into my computer, just into a normal USB port. So that's if I'm using, or recording with an amp, essentially. Now, if I'm plugged into my Axe effects like I am right now, the process is much more simple, but, you know, I think probably the real amps sound a little bit better. So anyway, so when I record into the Axe effects is actually extremely simple. I think the amps sound a little bit better, but for convenience sake, I like to use it. So I run right out of the Axe effects, and that goes into my computer. Boom, guitar into Axe effects into computer. So I'm using the Axe effects today because I'm using P90 pickups, and it has a built-in noise gate, and it's like one of the best ones I've ever heard, to be honest. Sorry, this is the guinea pig lesson, so you're getting all the rough cuts and everything. So basically, I have my project pulled up. It's blank right now. I don't have anything going on. And typically, if I was to write something, usually I either have a riff kind of already logged away, or I'm starting from scratch, and I like to start with drum loops. So I would find some kind of drum pattern. Let's just do something simple. This is like a halftime feel. And I'm using Easy Drummer, so I can go into Easy Drummer and just grab loops. A lot of times what I do is I take the loop, and then I will go in and tweak the MIDI to be more what I wanted. So if I'm doing this, we'll just take this loop over here, and hopefully you can see this all okay. Let me make sure no, it's not too bright. So we have that now, and we're just going to work with one single drum thing. So those are our drums, and say like there was something I didn't like. So I can go in here, you can see these are the individual notes or sounds of the drums, whatever you want to call it, and I could move those around if I wanted to. You can kind of hear it maybe. You know, all the different options that I could do. But we're going to keep it real simple for now, and just that one. And basically then I start with a riff. So I'm just going to record something right now, kind of off the cuff. And I don't need these extra tracks in here right now. And then I'll show you kind of what I do next. First thing that I always do is I forget that I have my delay turned on, and then I have to go turn that off. Okay, so there's our drums. and I'm realizing what I forgot to do now. When I'm recording, I have the output through these little monitors, and then my guitar's coming through the bigger monitors. And that way I can have 2 different volumes. You know, I like to record loud, I'll be honest. You know, I really enjoy recording loud if possible. You know, really feeling what you're, you know, playing and all that stuff. So, there we go. So let's just do like a real simple riff over this. So we'll stop with that. Now that would be one side, essentially, of what I would be recording. So we'll pan this one. And I like to double track a lot of stuff. I always record everything twice. It's just, you can't copy and paste. That basically just keeps the sound in mono, and it sounds totally different. You have to double track. You have to play it all again. And so we have that, and then I'll do my best to kind of track it. Sometimes I like it better when I don't play everything perfectly twice. Sometimes you want it to be very tight and precise and everything exactly the same way, and other times you just want to kind of roll with it. So. Okay, so there we have that now. We have both parts, and on the spot, you know, like I said, I just kind of let the moment happen. So sometimes I felt like, oh, you know what, it'd be cool if I kind of added an octave, you know, here, because sometimes I was playing the riff like this. And it just, I don't know, it's those little things that I like being inspired by what's happening right then and there. And it's just all about not being afraid to try stuff. We have that. Now the next step is this. I like to get, I do all the rhythm stuff first before I do anything else. Normally I would have the bass amp set differently, but I'm just gonna use whatever for this one. So, and I would also tune my guitar, but I'm not gonna worry about it. I take that back. I am gonna tune this thing. Okay. Now that one I would probably go back and fix that because I lost it there at the end. But I like the little things that I was adding, the, you know, and that major third in there. I should say typically I would not double track with the same guitar as well. I really like to, my Les Paul, on any chance I can get, the 79 km, the Les Paul just makes it on everything. It has such a good mixed guitar sound, just like right off the bat. So good. Now next I would probably do some kind of solo over this. Actually, that's a really nice bass sound. So, next I'm going to record I'm gonna improvise. Like I said, I'm not keeping this like real tight. I'm just letting stuff happen. And I like to record with delay. I like to record the way that I want to hear the guitar sound. I know a lot of people prefer to record dry without delay and reverb, but I really enjoy that. So let's see what I can kind of come up with here on the spot. The guitar that I'm hearing to be louder. Like I said, I like it to be loud. We'll leave it at that. Not the best, but you know what? We'll keep it there. But so this is the raw idea here right now. So basically, I get the volume. I like to have quite a bit of clearance, and you can see my main track over. You probably can't see it, but my main track. Let's see. Yeah, it's not giving me a lot of volume clearance. So I bring the volume down on everything. I like to have about 5 dB of clearance where I'm in the green. That way there's plenty of room for mastering. I don't really know how to master, but I just do what I can. And the other thing that I do is on my guitar tracks, which might seem odd, let's see, is I take a lot of bass out of pretty much everything. I leave the actual fullness and bass to the bass and to the kick drum on the drums. So I'll go through here. Oh, I done messed up. I'll go through here and I'll go to my channel EQ settings. You can see right now, and basically what I'm doing here is I'm scooping out a lot of the low frequencies. So this is where you're gonna get you're gonna lose a lot of volume because the low end is just killing your mix. And you don't need the low end in the guitar. The guitar is a mid-range instrument. So leave the low end to the low end instruments, the bass, the kick drum, stuff like that. So I'll go through here and I'll kill up to right around 100 hertz or whatever it's called. And you can see like the guitars will sound kind of thin, but when you put it in the mix, it sits a lot better. Now on the bass, I need to make sure that I'm not cutting it too much because I actually want that bass in there. So I don't cut too much. I cut like real low in case there happens to be some like what's like blubberiness, I guess is a good way to describe it, to the sound on the bass. But I typically don't cut out too much of the bass. And I'm just using, these are all stock plugins, so I'm just using a channel EQ on each one of these. If you have Logic, then this is how I'm doing a lot of this stuff. So I am far from any kind of expert. I just, honestly, I've had friends help me a little bit. I've read a little bit online, and a lot of it is just, I just use my ear, to be honest. But essentially, once I get like the mix the way that I want it to, which I'm not trying to get it perfect right now or anything like that. See right there? I really want there to be a chord change there, but there's not. Anyways, so then what I do is basically I bounce this track down. So if you're using Logic, it's Command B, and then you want the file to be PCM. That's giving you a wave file. So it's MP3s are very compressed, and we want it to be a wave file, and we're gonna do that. We want it to be where is it at on here? Yes, here we go. And you want it to be interleaved. That's going to give you a left and right channel, not just everything down the center. So we will bounce it down. I'll call this record thing. And then that will go in my folder here. Oh, maybe. In Logic that I have called bounces. I bounce it down. Now this is something that I recommend anyone doing. If you're like me, again, I don't do this professionally. To where I'm, doing professional mixes or anything like that. Basically, I have a template that I use, which oddly enough I call it the mixing temp, which I'm not mixing. This is, my version of mastering, so I don't know why I ever named it that, but I know what it means. You don't need to worry about that. And so basically, now we have all these plugins I tend to use. I use a stereo spread just to make it sound a little bit wider, an adaptive limiter, an exciter, a compressor. I like to add reverb because reverb makes everything better. And then some channel EQ. And there's other things like linear EQ, which I don't really know too much about, to be honest. I have it on here. Sometimes I use it. But let's go ahead and we'll import this track. Look, you can see all these tracks I have on here. So now that I have the track in here, I have all of the plugins activated. And I don't know if you'll be able to hear it necessarily here. I'll turn them all off for a second, and let's see if you can even hear through this what the difference is. And normally I would switch to my bigger monitor, my Yamahas right here, to hear it better, and I would be sitting more straight on. I'm kind of like angled, which is not ideal. But so basically, listen to it as I turn some of these plugins on. You can hear how it thickens up the sound, just makes it sound bigger. And there it is, and like I said, this is a very fast thing. Like normally this is something that takes a lot of time. You spend a lot of time kind of fine-tuning it and all that kind of stuff, but basically you end up with this. So here's our final mix of it all. And my ear wants that to go to an A. Classic 1-4-5. But it's not going to. So essentially, then after that, then it goes into the video, and I don't have like audio to sync this with, but then I go into editing the video and I sync that stuff, which I'll be doing a video editing video. Oddly enough, as well. So this is just kind of like a look into how I'm recording a lot of this stuff. Like I said, this was a much more fast-paced. Typically, this takes a long time and a lot of different work to go through it all. But yeah, there you have it. So a big old thank you to all you guys who are over here on the channel membership. I appreciate you being willing to try this out. I look forward to making a lot more of these videos. And let me know comments of like kind of topics that you would like to see covered, maybe about recording, YouTube, all that kind of stuff, and we'll see about making some of those things. I can't always promise that everything will get made, but I definitely want to really have your input in all this stuff. So I'll see you guys all later. Peace out, homies. Keep on rocking, and I'll see you later.